In this video we're going to look at creating a pie chart for the Edexcel, Pearson's Edexcel exam. We're looking at a level 1 paper, and this is the June 2017 paper. The question asks us to create a chart to display the total sold by each member, total DVDs sold by each member. The question actually tells us what we need to know here. It says we need to include each member, so I'm going to select the members, and we also need to include the total sold, which is going to be the total sold here. So I want to select the total sold, but if I just click and drag, you see that this selection disappears. So I need some way of adding to a selection. So if I select that as I was, now to add to this selection, the easiest way to do that is to hold down the control key, which is on a Windows PC is CTRL key. And while you've got that held, click and drag to add those in. Let go of the mouse, let go of the control key. What you've got to do is ensure that you've got the same number of things included here. So I've got 3, 6, 9 items there, and I've got 3, 6, 9 items there. If you've got an odd number or a mismatched number, your chart's not going to work properly. If you think about the chart, these numbers are what makes up the height of the bar, and also the range of numbers on the left-hand axis. These names are going to be the descriptions that go along the bottom of the chart, along the bottom axis. So these text values, which you'll normally need a text value and one number value. On a normal bar chart, these would go along the bottom, these would go make the height of the bar, and also the range on the left-hand axis. We're doing a pie chart though, so we instead are going to have a pie chart broken into segments, and we need to be able to describe what those segments mean and what the values are. Obviously the values would determine how big the wedge is in each pie slice. So to recap, we want to select the members and we want to select the total sold. So we're going to hold control, click, drag, let go of the mouse, let go of control, and now we've got the data ready for the chart. To add a chart, we go to insert, and we've got lots of options under charts here. We're only interested for this exam in the most basic charts, which are either a bar chart or a pie chart. And you can always tell if it's a pie chart. They'll either ask you to create a pie chart, or alternatively they'll ask you to create a chart showing percentages. If it's percentages, you're going to need a pie chart, and if it's a pie chart, obviously you're going to create a pie chart. So I'm going to click on the little arrow next to the pie chart there, and that shows me the pie charts are available. We've got a variety of different pie charts: pie chart in bar chart, 3D pie charts, donuts. We just want the simplest one possible, so we're going to just select a straightforward 2D pie chart, and that creates the chart for us. And you can see each of these segments represent someone, and they're denoted by colours here. So this darker blue here is Angus Cameron. This one here is Theodore Andrews. But I don't know if you can see, it's probably easy to see these are quite difficult to tell apart. So we're going to have to do something different than just having this legend, which I'll look at in a minute. For now, what we need to do is we need to get this chart onto its own sheet. They always want you to print it on a separate sheet or put it on a separate sheet. When we first create the chart, as long as we don't click on anything else, we have a move chart option available here, and we can just click on that and that will open a move chart window where we can move the chart. But sometimes you will have clicked somewhere else and you lose that option. You can go back to chart design at the top there, and that will bring back this option. Alternatively, if you just left click on the top right of your chart there where there's no chart elements, so there's no pie chart or titles or anything there, right click, left click and right click, sorry, and then you'll see there's a move chart option there. We'll select that, and that creates the move chart window there. We want to always, for the exam, select new sheet and give it a name. So I'm going to call this pie chart. Pie chart. And what that will do is it will create a new sheet down here, a special type of sheet called a chart sheet. Let's go to that, and you can see that's created that. You may either forget to put the name in, or you may make a typing error or something and need to amend this. So to amend this, we can just double click on that, and then we'll have a cursor, we can edit that, correct the text errors or whatever we've done down there, or give it a new name. You always want to give it a meaningful name, so pie charts, don't ever leave it with just chart 1. Press enter, that's now there. Now this chart looks slightly different because it's on a full screen. We've just got the legend, which is this bit down at the bottom here, which gives us the colours and what the colours mean. But you can't see any values on this, so we can't see what these wedges represent. If I just hover over them, you can see it says Series 1 point, Theodore Andrews, value 74, 8%. Well, that's great if someone's looking at it electronically, but if I needed to print this, for instance, it's no use at all, really. So what we need to do is we need to change this so that it's got more meaningful labels and it's clearer and easy to read. This is what they usually ask you to do, make it easy to understand or make it clear and easy to use. That sort of language I use. The easiest way to change this, just click on your chart and then make sure you're on the chart design menu option there. Once you click on that, you'll see a variety of different types of charts. I wouldn't recommend you use any of these styles. They're overkill and they actually can make it more difficult for you to create the chart you want. So the easiest way to do this is go to Quick Layout, and you'll see 7 options there. For the exam, we're only interested in these 2. So the first one will show you a chart with percentages, as you can see. So Winston McHugh is 11% of the total sales, and the one underneath it will show you the same thing but with values. So Winston McHugh's total sales were 102. In the case of this question, we're going to do that. But if you had to create a chart with percentages, you would just select that first option. Everything afterwards is the same. So I'm going to select that, and that's created my chart. Now it's a bit more easy to use because we've now got some labels here that tell us some information. We don't have to hover over the pie chart to see the values. It's still got some problems though, because these 2 here especially are really hard to read, and also if I were printing this in black and white, these would be shades of grey, which would make it practically impossible to tell the difference between certain colours. So what we need to do is we need some way of getting these labels to be easier to read. The easiest way to do that is to move them outside of the segment. We also need a chart tile. We always have to have a chart tile, whatever type of chart we're doing. So to move these labels out, what we need to do is go to our chart elements button here, click on that, and when you click on that you can see these chart elements. We've got chart tile. Well, we don't have a chart tile, so I'm going to click in that box there to make sure we do have a chart tile. Data labels and legend. If all our information's here, we don't need the legend. You don't want to include a legend unless you really need to. Generally they'll mark you down. If you've got a legend and labels, they will mark you down. So we're going to leave that blank. Back to the data labels, because that's what we're interested in. And you'll see that there's a little triangle there. If we click on that, that will open up another menu. And we can see on this menu we've got different ways of showing the data labels. Okay. The one we want here is the outside end, and what that does is it puts it outside the segment and at the end of the segment. So there we go. Okay, to get rid of these menus we just click on plus, and you can see we're nearly there with this pie chart. We've got a chart tile. What should I use my chart tile? Well, what I'd recommend you do is look at the question. In this case the question says create a chart to display the, and then I'm going to take what it says after that, which is total sold by each member. I'm going to start with a capital, total sold by each member. Now, in itself, that's not actually very helpful because it doesn't tell me what they've sold. So I'm going to add in a little bit of information. And you should always try to make the tile give as much information as reasonable. So we now know that this is total DVDs sold by each member. And that's a bit more useful. Just click off the text box to get that added. Now I'm going to just do some formatting here just to make sure it's clear and easy to read. So my total sold DVDs sold by each member, that's a page title. So I'm going to go back to home and format it so that it stands out. And the rule is your page title should be bigger than most of the other text on the page. It's standard throughout these exams. So what I tend to do is just increase the font size a couple of sizes by using this increase font size button here. Click that twice. I'm going to make it bold. I'm going to make it italic, and then I'm going to make it underlined as well. And now there's no doubt that looks like a page title. It's bigger than all the other text, it stands out. I think that the labels for each segment are a bit small, so I'm going to bump those up a couple of sizes as well. Because they start off smaller than the title, even though we bump them up a couple of sizes, they don't become as big as that. And I'm going to make those bold and italic, just to make them stand out a bit. And I could change the colour. If you're going to change the colour, use a dark colour. Don't be using like a yellow or something like that. So just use I'm going to use a dark blue there. Okay. And now we've got a chart, which is the right type of chart. Looking at the question, it says it wants a chart to display the total sold by each member. A pie chart, sorry, to display the total sold by each member. It's got to be clearly labelled. It's got to be easy to understand. Has an appropriate title. Has data labels for the values. And must be printed on a separate sheet. And this question is worth 7 marks in the paper. And if you just follow that process and practice that, it's quite an easy 7 marks to get if you get a pie chart.